I try to be honest with my feelings, with my evaluation. I try to give you, the vibe hunters, I try to give you the true contents of my heart in these circumstances. Which is why today you are going to hear me being a conflicted man. Because on one hand, if I came on here and I was like, sorry guys, season's over, the Chiefs lost to the Bills in the regular season, I would like to think that some percentage of you would turn on me instantly. I don't have the best memory, but I have a slightly longer one than that. The Chiefs lose to the Bills in the regular season. It happens constantly. Every time in these last 5 meetings now. I also know exactly what happens in the postseason. So, altogether, big picture, I don't think there's any reason to be panicking right now on Monday, November 3rd. But on the other hand, the conflict comes from the fact that we watched the same game yesterday, and I think some of these issues were problematic enough to give you real pause in terms of what you expect to see going forward. I don't think the Chiefs are falling down my personal power rankings, but man, what did happen yesterday is a little more air got let out of that balloon that we've just been seeing inflate and inflate and inflate over these last 3 games, before the Bills game, of course. And starting to believe again in this idea that we're going to see this fire-breathing Dragon Chiefs offense being this unstoppable unit that can make anybody pay at any given moment. Here's the thing. I still think some of that's there. And we're going to try to pick on some of these specific problems that I think we all saw yesterday, because some of them I think will improve themselves for like real reasons, not just hope and vibes. I have real reason to believe that I think perhaps the biggest problem yesterday should be solved by this Broncos game coming up in 2 weeks. However, there are some real flaws in an offense yesterday that put up 21 points in a game that 21 points was never going to win. It's kind of amazing that this ended up being a touchdown game when the Chiefs had a legitimate chance to tie it up at the very end. It was really, really close. But we've been on the other side of that equation too. The game was close. The final score was close. The Bills really controlled what was happening on Sunday. So I want to hit some of these specifics that really trouble me, and I think some of the generalities, maybe some of this will wash out by January. This is, in fact, everything else. I am Joshua Brisco. It's brought to you by KC Cannabis Company. Appreciate the super chat from Sir Hunks a lot. That's weird. That's not my account. Saying I'm not super worried, obviously. It was obvious what was wrong. We just need to track down the Monstars and beat them in a game of basketball. I think that would do it. I think that would be very, very helpful. The other thing that I think was relatively obvious is that Patrick Mahomes did not know a moment's peace against the Buffalo Bills. Some of this is understandable. Some of this is really discouraging. Stat from Next Gen Stats that I think largely speaks for itself. I will keep speaking because that's what I do. The Bills pressured Patrick Mahomes on 52.6% of his dropbacks. That's 14.3% higher than their pressure rate in any of the other 9 matchups against the Chiefs since 2020. So he was pressured 14% more often than he's ever been pressured by the Bills for more than half of his dropbacks. Mahomes completed just 3 of 16 passes for 61 yards and an interception when pressured. You want the good news or the bad news? The best news on that particular stat is that I can tell you why that was happening. We got a question in the chat from Jackie. Was this Trey Smith's worst game of his career? I don't actually know that one way or the other, but I will tell you, dude was battling through a back injury that knocked him out last week. Trey Smith didn't get worse. He was battling. That's the only word I can think of. battling through that. I'm going to tell you, if I never played guard at an NFL level, but if anybody wants to throw a guess out there, I would say that having a soreness or a stiffness or whatever it may be in your back makes that job significantly harder. So Trey Smith is hurt, playing through it. Later in the game, Kingsley Suamataia gets hurt. Mike Caliendo comes in. I guess Kingsley came back, which I actually missed live, to be honest. I saw on the snap counts today that Caliendo only came in for one snap. So Kingsley comes out. He's gutting it out on his own on the other side of Creed Humphrey. Earlier in the game, before Kingsley, Juwan Taylor goes out. He does not return. Wanya Morris comes in to finish out the game there. That would have been Jalen Moore, but he's your starting left tackle because Josh Simmons has been gone. Now, if you haven't seen this, the good breaking news of the day, seen this from several reports, saw it from our friend Matt Derrick a moment ago, so he's going to get my hat tip. Josh Simmons has apparently, reportedly, returned to the Chiefs' facilities and is back in the building. I have no extra info on that. I assume that means he's back for the long haul. I assume that means that he's going to get back into the flow of things to be ready in 2 weeks for Denver. He has the bye week to get back up to speed. Then he has the week to actually prepare for the Broncos. We'll talk over the next couple weeks. I'm sure that coaches will be asked, what's the plan at left tackle? What's the plan for Jalen Moore? If Juwan Taylor's injury is any sort of serious, I think that makes it pretty obvious that it's got to be Simmons back at the left side, and Jalen Moore goes over, and he's still your starting right tackle. Hopefully Juwan Taylor ends up back soon. But Juwan Taylor was having a poor game after having some really good ones. Juwan Taylor had a tough game against Buffalo before the injury. Wanya Morris comes in, and I think you can have Wanya Morris out there in a pinch. You end up having him out there in borderline desperation mode. When you know you're passing, it's a tough spot for anybody. So by the end of the game, the Chiefs' front five, their offensive linemen, their O-line there, 5 players had one healthy starter. That's not an excuse. That's true. That's what happened. I think you could have asked for a little bit better from that unit, even in that phase, even in that state, but that's simply factual. One healthy starter by the end of that game. So this isn't a Brett Veach thing. This isn't a Trey Smith stinks now, got paid and he stinks now. This isn't a Kingsley problem, who's been really good this year and seems to have improved every week, perhaps until yesterday, I don't know. Jalen Moore's held his own, but he's not the best left tackle on the 53-man roster because Josh Simmons is on it. So that, to me, is both really frustrating because I think the offensive line here on Monday, and I've gone back to look at a couple of things. I've got some of the stats. I've looked at a couple of the things on tape. I'm not closing the book on Chiefs Bills. I'll be very interested to talk about it with the guys tomorrow on Only Weird Games and to review some more of the film. But I think if I had to cast my vote today, I think I would tell you that the offensive line was the biggest problem in that game because of the other problems it led to. And that's why the Chiefs addressed the O-line so aggressively this offseason. It's why we can look back at 2 Super Bowl losses and go, well, those were games where the offensive line was just shreds of the ideal version that you may have had in your mind in April, May, June. Well, February came around, and the Bucs and the Eagles are taking crazy advantage of that. Unfortunately, that's not the only thing. I think the O-line was probably the biggest domino. And a couple of comments here about Jalen Moore, about how the O-line adjusted. Jalen Moore in the first half against Washington got bull rushed a couple of times, and he had a better second half. That adjustment didn't come around against Buffalo. I think that the spinoff, that second domino, that just kind of bums me out, was seeing Patrick Mahomes understandably losing some of his trust in that offensive line. And how many times in these last 3 weeks have we talked about how comfortable Patrick Mahomes looked back there? We've talked about that a lot. It's a big deal. It gives the wide receivers more time to separate, and it gives Mahomes more time in the pocket, some more confidence, and then when he does escape, it's often by choice rather than by necessity. Well, I think he had a couple of scrambles against Buffalo where he left a pocket he didn't need to leave, but you see a little bit of a step back into that headspace of, I can't trust my O-line, so I, Patrick Mahomes, am going to just go find some grass to do this in. I'm going to escape out of the mess and try to reset out here, make a play on the move, things he's great at. A tendency that has served him incredibly, incredibly well. But when you have to do that, or when it feels like you're doing that all game, and when it's ending with, I believe now I've seen multiple times, I have not done my own box score checking, but his worst completion percentage of his NFL career, Tucker's given me the thumbs up, which means that it's true, not that he likes it. Because I would like to give that a thumbs down. I got 2 thumbs up, thumbs down, 2 thumbs. Whoa, hey, what are you, a Bills fan? Put those fingers down. I did hear from all the Chiefs Radio Network crew, particularly Dan Hughes and Josh Klingler, that they were getting salutes all the way into the stadium, in the booth. I wish I could say, like, what an atmosphere, but I can't because the Chiefs lost. And so it's not fun to go, man, at Highmark Stadium, what a venue. Hate to see them close it down. I don't know now. But so if Mahomes loses trust in the O-line, he's moving out of the pocket a little more than he needs to be. I don't imagine there were a lot of receivers running open all day. Again, I'll be very curious to see if Mahomes was missing open receivers or if there was a problem creating open receivers. I think I lean towards the latter a little bit, judging by just like who we're evaluating here. I think Patrick Mahomes is probably making the right call more often than Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, Kareem Hunt, Juju Smith-Schuster, Noah Gray are separating. I kept Rashee Rice out of that mix because I'm not sure what happened with him. I think it might have been Maddie Lane of the lab who said something like, hey, if that's the floor for Rashee Rice, I'll take it. Of like 4 for 80 and a game plan that didn't really seem to be Rashee Rice focused. The problem is, if you are having a bad day on the offensive line, I would have thought you're not targeting Rashee Rice 7 times for 4 receptions. You're targeting him 12 times for 9. Like that there is a significant increase in what you would ask for Rashee Rice to do in an offense that's having some of those troubles. So I really think, in the grand scheme of it all, it's kind of a give a mouse a cookie situation. If you shake up Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, it's harder for him to find wide receivers. And if he's having a harder time finding the receivers, maybe they have less time to get open. And they have less time to get open, but also the coaching staff did not bring anything consistent to the game plan. And so I don't think there's a villain for what went wrong for the Chiefs in this game. I think there is a complicated list of factors, or at least maybe it's not complicated, maybe just a long list of factors where nothing raised the level and nothing was easy ever. So the next beautiful lower third graphic we have is sort of a rhetorical question. I think you probably will know where I lean on it. But are the Chiefs in a place right now where we're seeing some regression? Or is this bye week going to be a time for retooling? I think if you told me the Chiefs were going to go get one more shot in Highmark Stadium facing the Bills in the playoffs, I'd pick the Chiefs in that game. Like, I don't really care what happens the rest of the season. Wild card Chiefs are going to Buffalo. Cool, man. AFC Championship game in Buffalo? Sure. But it's such a deflating day. Like I said, it took the air out of the balloon of this new look, Rashee Rice-focused version of the Chiefs offense. The other thing offensively that just kind of bums me out, the Chiefs and the Bills, it didn't feel like it. The Chiefs and the Bills both averaged 4 yards a carry. 4.0. James Cook averaged 4.2. 27 carries for 114 yards. 17-yard long. Kareem Hunt averaged 4.5, which is more than 4.2, narrowly. 11 carries, 49 yards, 13-yard long. Guys, the stat lines for Kareem Hunt and James Cook were unbelievably similar. Cook got more opportunities. And there was that 4th down sequence the Chiefs didn't pick up where they threw the ball on 3rd and 4th down instead of giving it to Kareem Hunt either time. A guy who had been slashing by his standards. I don't want to overstate things. I should relax. but a guy who had really been finding success to that point and also has been incredible in short yardage. Remember all the talk about the human tush push that he is? But that's a box score stat. I don't know. Is that okay? I went to go check to try to find another metric here so I don't just go, 4 yards a carry. Well, the Chiefs were better running the ball than they were throwing the ball, which is certainly a rarity. They added 0.08 EPA per play when running the football. The Bills averaged 0.1, 0.10, 8-10, very, very, very close there. The Chiefs had a 50% success rate when running the football. The Bills had a 47% success rate running the football. Those are from rbsdm.com, the Ben Baldwin site, the advanced box scores. Really interesting stuff to try to get some other metrics where a box score is never going to solve the whole problem, but you can get a little more intel. If there was ever a day to just try running the ball, I know that Isaiah Pacheco was not out there. We're going to get to the rest of the running back room in a minute, and I'm going to have a whole disclaimer before I talk about it. That's where I'm at mentally right now. I'm going to need a disclaimer before talking about the Chiefs running back room. But if there was ever a day to try, it's not like it wasn't working. That's the other thing. Look, how many times does an Andy Reid offense go out there, they run the ball a little bit in the first quarter, it doesn't work, and then suddenly the running game disappears from this planet? It happens all the time, but I get it. If you're handing the ball off, you're not having success, and you have the option to give the ball by extension to Travis Kelce or Rashee Rice or hell, Juju Smith-Schuster. Do other things to replace your running game. Totally understand that. Why in this one? When none of the short yardage replacement stuff was working, and the running game was, the Bills came in with a horrendous run defense. And then there's this part. The Bills were without defensive tackle Ed Oliver, cornerback Teron Johnson, who was injured on Friday, by the way. They game planned with him. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones, linebacker Shaq Thompson, wide receiver Joshua Palmer. That was a thinned out version of a struggling Bills defense. And running the ball was effective. I guess you're trailing for a bunch of the game, and there are plenty of explanations. I don't think there are any good excuses. You have too many obvious situations where you think, well, just a couple under center runs here would be awesome. And Kareem Hunt shotgun handoffs are not playing into the best part of his downhill running abilities. I don't feel like a genius saying that. I think if anything, you're probably listening, nodding, going, yeah, that's what I was screaming at my TV last night. Trying to be louder than Tony Romo. Another reminder that it's always a great time to listen to the Chiefs Radio Network. They're doing a great job. I really enjoy Mitch and Danon, and not the other people who have called a lot of the Chiefs games this year on television. But I digress. I'm being a company man. But I mean it very, very much. The other thing, the defensive thing, I've spent most of this time talking about my frustrations, my sadnesses with the Chiefs offense. More still to come. But we've been telling the truth about the Chiefs pass rush for a while. The best way to shake up the Chiefs offense and to bother Patrick Mahomes is to get pressure, because that's the best way to beat any quarterback ever. It's the only thing that slowed down Tom Brady. It's the thing that slows down Patrick Mahomes. Every quarterback is worse under pressure. Not every quarterback is worse when blitzed, but if you are under duress, your job gets harder. I saw a comment here from Michael said, "I hate listening to TV. Would rather listen to radio." And for a moment, I was like, "But it's just we're on YouTube. What do you mean? You can just listen to this. You can." That wasn't about us. That was about the thing I was just talking about. Thank you, Michael. I'm just acknowledging that sometimes I glance over to the comment section and I read something and I miss the point so thoroughly that it's better for me to just not respond. I do appreciate everybody being here to watch along on what is a bit of a sad non-victory Monday. And of course, you can listen on the podcast feed as well. Just subscribe. Look for everything else with Joshua Brisco, wherever you get your shows. Anyway. You know a good way to limit Josh Allen? Pressure without blitzing. Pressure with 4. This team can't do that right now. Another, like, non-Chris Jonesy game from Chris Jones, and I totally understand the frustration. I'll tell you what, if you want more of that, you tune into the lab this week, and they're gonna have our bases covered there. I still genuinely, and like I want to like talk to Craig about this and just have him just help me. We need help. I understand looking at Chris Jones and a salary cap hit and going, man, he's not, and even like Seth said, Seth Kaiser is a Chris Jones lover from the skies. Even Seth going, yeah, the dominant reps aren't as consistent. His price tag keeps getting higher. So like I hear that. I'm not like running from that. It's so hard for me to look at the Chiefs pass rush and to say that any of the problems really start with Chris Jones. He's not single-handedly saving it all. I understand. You tag in anybody else there, and I think it actually gets sadder because you don't have the hope of the superhero rep that occasionally Jones can bring around. So I don't know. I'm not really, frankly, I'm not really here to like defend any part of the pass rush right now. I think everybody has questions to answer. I think Chris Jones and George Karlaftis need to be better. I think Charles Omenihu and Mike Dana, and Jerry Tillery probably all need to be better. I expect a little less, just like where they're at in their careers and everything, but need to keep doing that. Mike Pennell out-snapped Derek Nottie first game back. I thought it was interesting. I think it was by one snap, so very, very close, but intriguing there. We're at a point with the pass rush, though, that I just this is kind of mean. What I'm about to say is kind of rude. It's true. I don't expect very much from the Chiefs' front four pass rush right now. I would love for that to change. I think it needs to change for this team to win a Super Bowl. I don't expect it right now. I think I've been pretty reasonable. I think I've been level-headed. I think I've mostly just said true things that I feel like are responsible enough to say. So now I'm going to do something different. Tucker, I need the new filter. This is a new segment. This segment is called Nobody Clip This. This is a safe space. At some point, Tucker, this might need music. It doesn't need music right now, but it's just dawning on me now. Like, I feel like maybe I just need to put static over it. Maybe I need like a voice changer so I can hide this from... Is this spooky? Is this piano music? This is good.
I had downloaded this after the Jaguars game when I was doing that that is a show that I do, but not the right one.
Uh-huh.
When I was doing KCSN Live. So this was my background music for that, is what this was.
This is great.
It's sad music is
Perfect.
What it is, but yeah.
I'll use that today. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
At some point, I'm going to pitch my voice down so it sounds like I'm a protect you witness.
That'd be pretty sick.
I might just do this the whole time. Okay. Nobody clip this. This is a safe space. We're all together on this? This is not about my most rational or most important gripes. This is a very specific sequence. What's the point of Elijah Mitchell? He's been on the 53-man roster all season, and they could have used him yesterday, and he was inactive. What happened? Could that have been Mike Pennell's roster spot all year long? Did this song and dance happen so the Chiefs could protect... Maybe I'll put my cardigan over my head like a hood. Did the Chiefs keep Elijah Mitchell on the 53-man roster so they could protect him from being poached from another team, and they didn't think they could get him on their practice squad? A practice squad that has Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Carson Steele? They've had 4 running backs on their active roster. Well, I thought that was fine because running backs get hurt, and you need a 4th running back. But we saw yesterday the Chiefs' 4th running back was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He might have been their 2nd running back by carries, actually. I think he might have tied Brashard Smith. Brashard Smith had 3. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 2 carries. Good for Clyde, by the way. Like, it really, like nice story. Back to the practice squad. Got to go back out there. Heard from him post-game. Happy for him. But why not just elevate him when you've got a running back injury? What happened with Elijah Mitchell? Follow-up question. Did anyone ask Steve Spagnuolo if he wanted Christian Fulton on this team? That was pre-draft. Pre-draft. Probably fine. It's just there's like $12 million of healthy scratches now? That's crazy. Like that $12 million of healthy scratches of guys you signed this offseason. It's not like a last few years of dead money. I don't know what happened. Final intrusive thought. I like that idea from Jackie Moon. These are intrusive thoughts. Final intrusive thought. The Brashard Smith running back thing is over for this year, right? Because I can't keep doing the card game thing. I just talked about this with the running back room, thinking like, well, this would be a day to run the football more. More Kareem Hunt. More running game against this Bills defense that stinks against the run. Your third running back was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He went 2 for 5. Your second running back was Brashard Smith. He went 3 for 7. If he's just a gadgety guy, pass catcher and all that, maybe. I mean, the signs have been there. The signs have been there that it's going to be a ramp up for Brashard Smith. He played 1 year of college running back. So it's not his fault. I'm not mad at Brashard Smith. The thing that doesn't add up to me is that if your number 1 running back is hurt, and your number 2 running back, or your number 3 running back in this instance, is Brashard Smith, a guy that you view as more of a gadgety pass catcher type for now, would you want a third running back who you could hand the football to? Is that the point of having Elijah Mitchell on the team? And if Elijah Mitchell isn't good, part ways at the end of training camp. Put him on the practice squad or let him walk. I'm just confused. I tweeted this out on Friday or Saturday that I think my gift and my curse in this space is that I played a ton of Madden 08 on PC as a youngling. I could download roster updates. I could sim seasons. I wasn't playing the football games on the PC version. I was managing the franchise. I was playing general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs, which in many ways I continue to do today, which I'm enormously grateful for. But that means I care so much about the bottom 20 guys on the roster into the practice squad. I'm including this, not 16, 17 guys on the practice squad because Chu Godric is an international player and he has the exception so they can have an extra practice squad player. These are things I know and care about. I just want to know what the Elijah Mitchell plan was. I totally got it when they signed him in the offseason. It's very confusing. And I guess if Christian Fulton's still on this team in 24 hours, I'd be surprised. 36 hours, whatever. Is there anything there? It had to be Madden PC, by the way, because that was the easiest way to, at least for me, it was the easiest way to update the rosters and everything. You just download the file, go right in there, move some things around in the back end, and then boop, now you've got whoever I was uploading to update the rosters. I probably did that to get Matt Castle on the Chiefs. When was that trade?
07.
That's right. And so that would have come with the 07 rosters. So I probably was like, I need Matt Castle, so I have a franchise quarterback that I can build around. And I did, damn it. Riley asked a good question in the chat. Do you think we care about the bottom spots of the roster because largely everything else has been fine for a decade? I do. I think that's hugely, hugely a part of it, Riley. We would all, without Patrick Mahomes, we would all be talking about college quarterbacks every single day. We would be scouting college quarterbacks. We would be looking at our draft picks. We would be talking about how you can move up into the top 5. We would be talking about, I know that I would be talking about giving Andy Reid Trey Lance. We would 100% be having very different conversations if they just weren't an unbelievable organization right now. But I also, like, Brett Veach has to care about 50 to 53. The scouting department there totally does. I do think, though, absolutely, we care more about it because we're not looking for the franchise quarterback. Okay. I think I feel a little bit better. I know Tucker, I don't know what it's about, but Tucker said he wants to keep this disclaimer on for his opening statement next segment. So we'll get to that in a minute. You know what will definitely make me feel better? Telling you about Kansas City Cannabis. You can check them out online at kccannabis.com. It's for adult use only. It's 21 and over. You know this. I know this. Now you know. You ought to go check out Kansas City Cannabis. I thought a dog was growling. It was my neighbor's extremely loud car. Back to KC Cannabis. They are, as I've told you many times, they're a part of Kansas City. They are crafted by Kansas City in Kansas City. I can see Tucker's face, so that car must be coming through. I'll tell you what, that is right through also our bedroom window. It is occasionally my least favorite alarm clock. Our neighbor's very nice, so, good, seemed like a nice guy. Very loud car. KC Cannabis is locally owned and community rooted with 5 KC area locations. KC North, Blue Springs, Kearney, Excelsior, Lottawanna. And I know I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying this because I really believe this. I think the most important part of the cannabis experience is making sure that you're learning from the right people. And at KC Cannabis, they're able to emphasize the educational side. You can get the care from the people who are passionate about their industry, about their product, who are knowledgeable about what they have. They've got great bud tenders at KC Cannabis. So if you're a first-timer looking to ask some so-called dumb questions, they will not make you feel dumb for not knowing what's going on and just going in with your notes and saying, here's what I'm looking for, help me get there. Or maybe you're a seasoned vet and you just want to get a great recommendation from the people behind the counter. They will have you covered there as well. Plus, they've got a special event coming up. I don't know if Tucker's heard the pun of this event yet, and if so, I'm very excited to tell you. Kansas City Cannabis is hosting their Grass Station event at their Blue Springs location on Saturday, November 15th from noon to 5 p.m. The Grass Station. It's featuring Vivid and Local Cannabis, 2 local companies that KCC partners with. There'll be deals, giveaways, raffles. You can get all the details. Adult use only, 21 and over. Get all the details at kccannabis.com.
Looking for premium products in Kansas City? Whether you're new to the world of dispensaries or a seasoned enthusiast, we've got just what you're looking for. Proudly Kansas City owned and operated, with 5 convenient locations in Kearney, Blue Springs, Excelsior Springs, KC North, and Lake Lottawanna. And our knowledgeable team can help educate and guide you so you can feel confident in every choice you make. Come see for yourself what makes us the most trusted name in Kansas City.
All right, Tucker, we have the benefit now of having this disclaimer, knowing we're being it's a little bit of an irrational Monday. We got to get some feelings out. What's your hot take that you need the protection of the nobody clip this filter?
Yeah, so I just think that it is the year of our Lord 2025. And there's a lot of things that I think we as a society and we as really a fan base and as just a community as a whole have kind of grown. You know, there's a lot of growth, and sometimes you feel a little hindered in your growth. And one of those daylight savings time, dude. What are we doing, man? I do love like
Careful,
getting the
extra.
Yeah, I do love. You're gonna see a red dot come across my head. I do love having the extra hour. Like that was pretty sick. That's pretty fun. But then when you have to spring forward, that sucks. Like that is not very fun. And I know that like, probably what you're all thinking is also what I was thinking of. Like, hey. Wasn't there like a bill or something that was passed to make daylight savings time permanent? And I think that's the right way to do it, right? I think that making daylight savings time permanent so it's darker later all the time is the way to do it, right?
That we would spring forward one final time and then we wouldn't move again.
And then we wouldn't move ever again,
right.
Yes, is what I'm saying.
I think I'm with you on that.
And I don't, because it's about to get dark at like 5. Like next week it's going to get dark at 5. And that, for lack of a better term, fucking sucks. Like that is like not that is not very fun. And there was a bill that was I think in 2022. It's called the Sunshine Protection Act. This is off the top of the head, not reading anything.
No, you're very knowledgeable about the 2022 bill, the Sunshine Protection Act.
Right, in 2022, it was to make daylight savings time permanent, and it had not been passed into law because the Senate passed it, but the House didn't. And I don't want to get too political, but that sucks. I mean, come on. Can we not agree on anything in this country, guys?
No.
Daylight savings time. Make it permanent. Stop going back and forth. Arizona doesn't go back and forth. They're fine. That's another thing, Josh. That's another thing that kind of sucks. How come people can just choose not to do it? Like, how come, like, Arizona, Indiana for a little bit didn't do it, and then they're like, yeah, I guess we'll do it again. Indiana is really interesting when it comes to like time zones because like Portland, Maine, and Indianapolis, Indiana have the same time zone, and that should not be allowed.
No, that's crazy.
I think they need to split the Eastern time zone up again. So you have Eastern, you have. Ooh, what would that one be?
All this damn conference realignment, man. I don't know. I'm.
We're realigning these damn conferences, man. I mean, that's what's really got me fired up. I actually, interesting enough, after this game, I was telling Tara, I was like, Tara, I got to get back to the gym. After this game, it really made me realize I gotta prioritize some things in life that are maybe a bit more important. I got to get back to the gym. I need you to wake me up. I don't care how late I stay up recording that football show. Wake me up, get me to go to the gym. And she's like, okay, even if you fight me, because I am a notorious, like, no, I'm not going to get up guy when I try to get waken up, right? Like,
I need to just put a pin in this, and I need to eventually have a conversation with Tara on this show about what her escalations are in terms of getting you out of bed.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like there are steps to this process.
Tara is much more regimented in her sleep schedule. She's very loves sleep. So a lot of times she's going to bed right before I am because, she works a regular person job and goes to the gym at an early hour. So she's always going to bed at an early hour. So usually she's asleep and she's awake before I am. So usually a lot of times they wake me up. She'll just turn every single light on. Just every single light on, yeah, and move my phone across the room and turn every single light on in our room.
Good.
And it works. Like, it helps me get up.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of like ads now. This isn't daylight savings time, but it kind of is. Sleep is. I think it impacts.
It's all. That's why we're mad about it for the most part. It's what time it gets dark and what it does to our sleep.
For sure, yes. So. And this story does relate back to daylight savings time, I promise. But I'm beginning a lot of ads of like this thing called Unbed is what it's called, like an Unbed alarm. You put it's like a brick. So you download an app and it's a brick that you put like somewhere in your house, and your alarm will not go off until you get up and touch your phone to that brick.
Oh, interesting.
So it's been something I'm thinking of investing. Right? I've been thinking of investing in that kind of alarm clock. I need something. I've been seeing there's a lot of people.
Can I throw a suggestion at you here?
Yeah.
I am not loyal to this brand at all because they have ads throughout the app, and getting like the premium ad-free version's always been kind of expensive. But there's an app called Alarm.me, just alarm with the letter Y at the end.
Okay.
That one is more consistent than my iPhone alarm, which I feel like just doesn't go off half the time. Maybe I'm snoozing it without knowing it. I don't know. But Alarm.me has this thing where you can have it set it up to give you a little puzzle to snooze, to turn off the alarm. And so what I've been doing for years and years and years now is that when the alarm goes off, I can snooze it so I can turn it off and not wake Renee up.
Yeah.
But I can snooze it, but it will start ringing again in like 60 seconds unless I complete 3 math problems. And you can do different levels of math problems. You can do 6 + 2, or you can do like a relatively long equation. I think I'm on like medium. You can do the quadratic formula. I think I'm on like medium, and I have gotten very good at adding up 2-digit numbers. Like there's a game in I learned that I was good at it because in Jackbox games where most of us probably familiar.
Yeah.
There is a game within Jackbox games called Trivia Murder Party. And within that game, so within Jackbox, there's Trivia Murder Party. And within Trivia Murder Party, there's a little mini game where to stay alive, you have to add up these 2-digit numbers.
Right.
And one time I was playing that with friends here, and I just nuked the field. Like, I was like doubling up everybody. People were like, Josh, are you good at math? No, I'm not. What I've been doing is I've been training my brain that I can do those in my sleep now. I can be groggy, drooling, and going like 84 plus 16 is 100, and we're just chugging through that way.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I could do it if you just spat them out to me. I don't know if that would work or not, but I can do it when I'm seeing them at least. So
For sure.
that's been my solution for a while. It really does work, and by the time you've angrily, and it's always angrily, by the time you've angrily solved 3 simple math problems, your brain's like at least kind of working. It's a little easier to get up. And then I've been awake long enough for Hopper to come over and just jump on my face until I get up and let him out. So he is a good follow-up to that alarm too.
That's good. Jackie says just hit smelling salts. And
that's so funny.
We've talked about this, and Matt Verder and I talked about this on that football show at the very end. So if you guys haven't listened to it, you guys need to listen at least to the end of it. on week 17, there's a very funny football game happening. It is Titans and Saints. That is a football game, a real life football game in week 17 that's going to happen. Matt and I have discussed going live for that game because the Chiefs play on Christmas earlier, right? So like it's going to be a Sunday where like there's no Chiefs football, and there's a serious thought that we might be going live for that game. And
so I'm sorry, you might have just said, is that an island game?
No. It's not an island.
Okay.
Game. It's on Sunday at noon.
Okay.
But we will be going live, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse here. There's a chance that we are going live for that game to chat about it. There's also I might be in Destin.
I think the NFL might just let you guys stream the game because
They
otherwise
could.
no one else is going to see it.
I have to double check my calendar. I just remembered I might be in Destin at that point. But which actually would make that funnier.
Actually funnier. Yeah. instead of being in the greater Kansas City area the week of Christmas, the darkest of December, you're going to be on a beach somewhere forcing yourself to watch Saints Titans.
Yeah. No, I will be. I just looked at it. I don't know what my flight is. That's too bad. Darn. I won't be
Hopefully it's
watching.
during Saints Titans.
Yeah, kind of.
Hopefully you take off at 11:55 Central.
So speaking of the alarm stuff, Tara gets me up. I go to the gym. I got a lift in before this podcast, feeling good, right? I get into my car after the gym, and I'm like, man, I got in, I got out, quick workout. I felt efficient. I turn on my car. I'm driving home, and I look at my car clock. It says 12:20. I said, oh my gosh. I get the wave of adrenaline that you get when you're like, oh no, I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm late. I got the wave of adrenaline, and then I like realized, oh, daylight savings time happened, and I want that feeling to stop. And I don't like that feeling, so I want that feeling to stop. Make daylight savings time permanent so it's darker later. And I sent Josh a voice message saying I was so scared that I was late, and you just like didn't say anything. You were just like, oh, well, I'll just do it myself, I guess.
Okay, well, Tucker hasn't been here for the first 15 minutes of the show. I guess I'll figure out how to hit the start button.
Yeah, but I wasn't late, thankfully, to that. But that's why daylight savings time needs to be permanent. Okay. I think I want it to be permanent, but like I wouldn't care if they just like said, "All right, don't do it anymore." I don't want the flip flop.
You want consistency, no snip snap.
Yes, no snip snap.
And I think there's some. I've seen some of the maps. This might be in addition to ball maps for you this week. Maybe you need to do some daylight savings time maps because there is like the wave of what time the sun comes up across the country. What I think we've got to be able to do at this point is pick the optimal time, the optimal range.
Yeah.
For each region. And if you want to do it region by region, or I don't know, not state by state, I can't have it being 12 o'clock in Kansas and 1 o'clock in Missouri. That's not going to be
true. That would be brutal.
That would be terrible. But like I really am cool with Arizona setting the standards. Like, hey guys, bleep you. Here's what we're going to do. We're doing it our way. I think that's good. I will mention again, I saw a comment there because the news of the day is that Josh Simmons is back with the team.
For sure.
We just don't have anything else with it now, and we'll talk about it a bunch the rest of the way. My mom is concerned, by the way, on your behalf about not putting your wake-up regimen on Tara on a regular basis. I'm gonna go ahead and defend you, Tucker, to my mom, and say I think this is special circumstances, and Tara's already up and at 'em. I do this to Renee sometimes. I'm like, hey, and I'm usually up first, but if I say, hey, I gotta be up at this time. If you haven't seen me at this time, come in here and like dump a bucket of ice water on my head, which actually was her idea. But so I get waterboarded when I'm not awake in time. Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah, our bedroom's a mess.
Guantanamo Bay all over again, I guess. I mean,
yeah, no, it's dark in here.
Yeah, so I do appreciate your mother pointing that out. Yes, this is one of the things of like, okay, I would like to be up because she's already going to be up. If I'm not up, make sure that I'm up. It's one of those things where I think I got myself up today. I don't think she woke me up like a big boy. I got up like a big grown boy.
And you can even the math there by letting her choose the way in which she should wake you up. It's like I have a Nerf gun in my office, and so if I'm like, Renee, if I'm not up at 8:15. I need a Nerf dart between the eyes, and I feel like Tara would love to shoot you with a Nerf dart to wake you up first thing in the morning.
Yeah, what is the scene? Have you ever seen that clip that's tweeted out for memes? It's just like the guy just like he's sleeping and pulls weapon out and puts it like on his face. He says, "Wake up, wake up." It's like that's kind of what it is. I can't remember what movie it is. It might be from a TV show. I don't know. And also, I'm thinking it's from The Wire. That could be wrong though, but I think it is from The Wire. Yeah, but that's what nobody clipped that because this is my safe space.
This has been safe for all of us. None of this is clippable. We're all fully protected by the disclaimer of this.
Thank God I didn't have to talk about that game again. Oh,
I know, dude, you did it so much yesterday. I really did have the thought of like, what are we gonna? Here's the thing. This is a sucky time for a bye week for us. It might be a good time for the Chiefs to have their bye week.
True.
And like they lost and maybe that helps you dial in through the bye, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a sucky time for us to have the bye week because Tucker, I want to do sad fans next because we're getting pretty close to the end of the show.
Yeah.
We will probably end up, the Broncos play against the Raiders on Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
Friday's show, we will probably lead with the Broncos.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I'm just going to say that for everybody to know, we have a lower third made for today's show, which is called, Can We Be Honest About the Broncos? And I'm going to tell you that I don't know if there's anything they can do against Vegas on Thursday that's going to make that no longer relevant on Friday. So that's the bet I'm making. We're not even going to actually talk about the Broncos today because we're going to save it to Friday because we're running out of time and they play on Thursday and I'm so annoyed with them that I think we're still going to be annoyed with them on Friday. Bam in the chat says, if we don't sweep the Broncos, are we cooked? Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched so much Broncos football. No.
I've watched a lot of Broncos too.
Friday. We're going to talk about the Broncos on Friday. In the meantime, let's go ahead and wrap up a sad Monday show the proper way to do it.
Yeah.
Beards McFly, he's done it again. He was in the comment mines of social media. And I haven't heard this yet. Don't know how it's going to go.
Me either.
I assume it wasn't a great time. But Beards put on the hazmat suit. He went into the depths of Reddit, the bowels of Twitter, the garbage disposal of Facebook, the pit of despair. And Beards McFly has emerged once again with Sad Fans Chiefs Edition.
And now, a list of things said by sad Chiefs fans. Gotta love opening drive defense. I just turned on the game. Of course, it's Carl f***ing Cheffers.
We didn't even talk about that!
Defense giving up a wide open TD pass on third down. Gonna be one of those days. Sigh. Plan is to have Cook run so much she's too tired to do anything in the second half. We will get manhandled this game, then eliminate them in the playoffs. It's fate. Inescapable. Bills fans, stop the count! I don't even worry about opening drives anymore. Always an automatic score. 7-minute drive for Bills going into a 3-and-out for the Chiefs. Remember when Tyquan single-handedly revived our offense and then Andy benched him for Hollywood? This sub kept telling me that Spags knows how to stop Josh Allen. Good job, Hollywood, getting open. Bad job, Hollywood, for having zero field awareness. 31 teams score there. Bunch of wieners in here today. Oh, look, a 3-and-out? Halftime adjustments, huh? Looks like the same stupid playbook. Classic Andy special, refusing to run the ball when we're running it well. Pat and the O-line are struggling. Help them, Andrew Reid. We could have Breece Hall right now against a bottom 3 run defense in football, and Andy Reid would still refuse to hand it off, opting for screens and short passing all game. Bolton still can't tackle. I'm a pundit, and I get paid to say stupid. Comment. Buffalo f***ed up. Why did they stop running? Reply. Caught a case of the Nagys. So you can discuss the call, f*** it up, then can't un*** it up? Nice league. Again, for the millionth f***ing time, Carl Cheffers. Comment. If this happened to the Bills, it'd be the top post on the NFL subreddit. Reply. And the rules would get changed tomorrow. LMAO. Carl Sheffers will never defeat the allegations. This team stayed up and watched the World Series game last night 100%. If only we had spent money on our D-line. Wait. Andy Reid, what a class act, letting his son, Sean McDermott, get his regular season wins by throwing this game. Well, at least I have chicken wings. Y'all want to chip in to fly a banner over the stadium that says, "Run the damn ball, Andy!" Bosa finally has an impactful game against Mahomes, and Tony is busting. We started the season with a strong O-line to give Mahomes time to throw, but no weapons due to injuries and a suspension. Now we have all our weapons, but our O-line can't give Mahomes literally any time to throw. Can we please just have our entire fucking team for once? Oh, and our defense has sucked ass the whole fucking time. Who knew letting Mahomes get hit every fucking play lowers your chances of winning? My favorite Chiefs fan is the one who goes to the NFL sub after this loss and gets cheap upvotes by saying, "We are in serious danger of missing the playoffs." Imagine if we scored the fucking touchdown from the fucking 1 yard line so we only needed a field goal there. Just so stupid. I'm also a Nebraska fan, so this was a rough weekend. At least there's volleyball. And now, the one thing that didn't make it from the opposing team.
Oh.
Look at all those chickens. I mean holds. And now, the winner of things said by sad Chiefs fans. Comment. Oh, good pint, of course. No way we do here. Reply. I wish I had a good pint. I wish I was high on pot noose.
I've had about enough of those beards, to be honest. I've had about enough sad Chiefs fans. I didn't even talk about Carl Sheffers today. By the way, people on Twitter are still complaining about the Chiefs getting all the calls. Just the thing I figured I'd mention. It's a good reminder to just never engage with anyone on Twitter.
Yeah.
End of comment. I would say at least with people that you haven't engaged with in good faith before. Because I've engaged with lots of Chiefs fans and plenty of non-Chiefs folks and engaged in good faith and had good times and good conversations. It's just crazy that that's never, literally ever with anybody who wants to talk about refereeing. So if you could just do, Beards, if you could just plan in 2 weeks to do sad Broncos fans, maybe some sad Colts fans, sad Cowboys fans.
Sad Broncos fans are going to feed my family.
I really would.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah, if you can just do that one next week instead, Beards, I'd really, you're doing, your quality's never been better. Content, I have a few keynotes. I do like that the comment section continues to find the solace that it's there for. Tyrion Strongjaw says they're laughing and processing pain.
Tyrion Strongjaw definitely was on Game of Thrones, right? That's a combination of two characters, right?
He's also a defensive end trade target that I've got circled right now for the Chiefs, hoping they can get him for a 6th.
If they have any left.
Yeah.
They're too busy trading 6th-round picks for Derek Nundy.
Noah Williams looked pretty good. He got the start and played a lot more. Not great, but decent, That was good. Yeah. He says first part's Game of Thrones, second part's a D&D thing. That makes sense. Thanks, Tyrion Strongjaw, 7729. Which part? Where's the number from? That's just from YouTube, I think. I think YouTube's done the Discord thing. Who cares?
For some reason,
cares what I think.
Yes, for some reason YouTube keeps doing that, where they just give your handle instead of your...
Oh no, Beard says if they lose again, I've got a sad plan. More like sad plans on Reddit. Do I want to know what Beard? No, Beards, don't tell me what your plan is. We'll just have that there to be another reason to be excited when the Chiefs boat race the Broncos in 2 weeks. I said I wasn't going to talk about the Broncos. That did make me a little sadder, but I do think it's nice to be able to process it that way and hopefully put that behind us and move into the bye week. We'll be here, by the way. Oh, this is a great time to ask Tucker and I to do things or talk about things that we don't always talk about on this show. So you can reach out on social media. Just don't lead in with a question about the refs, and I'll probably see it.
Yeah.
The vibes need a little bit of restoration. This is very true. The vibes have struggled. I saw earlier Renee suggested that maybe an early frost came through and it nipped our vibes growth, our vibes crop, threw a little blanket over to try to help it survive that first day of winter. And we're gonna keep growing these vibes. We're gonna keep cultivating them. We're gonna try to restore the floor of this Chiefs team. We're not in a vibe famine yet. We are. Our pantries are a little bit thin. The price of vibes keeps going up.
Vibe rationing is what we're doing.
Dude, that's it. Yep, there we go. Okay, thank God we can end the show. We're vibe rationing right now, and we're gonna have to ration those vibes through the next 2 weeks leading up to Chiefs Broncos. That game is going to be massive. Here's the one thing I'll tell you now to give you a little bit of hopium on the way out. Now, obviously, the Broncos are going to play the Raiders. I'm not going to say they're going to beat the Raiders because Brock Bowers had 47 touchdowns yesterday, and the Raiders looked competent against a really poor team that I can't imagine ever beating a contender. That was the Jags, huh? Damn. Well, shoot. Shucks. Boy, howdy. Final score of that one? Needed overtime, right? The Raiders almost beat the Jags in overtime. Maybe they'll beat the Broncos.
They should have beat the Jags in overtime. They had a guy standing wide open in the end zone, and the ball got deflected at the line of scrimmage.
I didn't even see that replay. Probably for the best for my own mental health. Maybe the Raiders give us some help. Maybe they don't. If recent history is any indication, no one's going to help the Chiefs by beating the Broncos. But as things stand right now, the Broncos are 7-2, the Chargers are 6-3, and the Chiefs are 5-4. Do you know what everyone's records would be? Not including the other games, of course. Not counting the other games that still have to happen. Do you know what everyone's record would be if the Chiefs beat the Broncos twice and beat the Chargers once? They'd all be 7-4. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos twice and beat the Chargers, the AFC West is back in front of them. The question is, how much do you believe in the Denver Broncos? And that's a question that I'll be laughing about until Friday's show. Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope we were able to put a few vibes back in your pantry. And a big shout out, a big thanks to our friends at KC Cannabis. Check them out, kccannabis.com. Enjoy your week of not being stressed about the next Chiefs game. We'll have Only Weird Games talk about much more of this on Tuesday. And then, of course, on Thursday, Josh Simmons is back. Something to build on there. Of course, you're going to have all sorts of post-Bills breakdowns across the network here at KCSN. And we'll be back with everything else on Friday. Let us know if you've got non-sports, non-chiefy topics you want us to talk about. And if you don't, we're going to come up with them ourselves, which is going to be a scary but hopefully generally positive experience. Until Friday, bye, Mom! More Pokemon in the bye week, absolutely. I've played so much Pokemon. I think I'm going to play it tonight during Monday Night Football.
Cowboys-Cardinals is not necessarily a marquee matchup.
Not getting me locked. You know what? I don't have a way to watch it right now anyway. Win-win.
Ooh. I do.
Just realized that.
Did you see what Marvin Harrison Sr. said?
No.
He said, "It's very hard for me to watch the Cardinals offense."
No, same. Yeah, absolutely.
I said, "It's hard for me too, Mr. Harrison Sr." Wait, pause. That's how he became senior.
I thought I was the one bringing Dick Justice back.
There we go.